Hello, I'm Firemac here, and welcome back to more Endwalker for Final Fantasy 14 with me, Firemac. So this recording will be my last of the session, and it will also be a little on the short side because I don't have much to work with here. And we're not going to do MSQ because I was waiting for us to come back from Elpis because it seemed like the appropriate time. We're going to go back and do the role quests. So, and we're going to start off with Tank. So if you want an important follow-up to yesterday's episode, or potentially today, depending on how I upload this, it's not going to be this episode, so most likely, because I doubt I'll finish these quests fast enough. Heck, I don't think I'm even going to finish all the role quests today, because I got like two other pairs to do. Where was it again? Gridania, right? It's all Christmas teeth now. Yeah, the Christmas event is started. The Starlight Celebration or whatever. Alright, so there we go. What quest did we leave off on? Level 88, so we're gonna have two, because I will level up after this, because you can see how close I am to leveling up right there. Keeper of the Entwined Serpents has good news to share. Firemac, the Elder Caesar has grown strong enough to receive visitors. Come, we must go to Still Glade Fane at once. Da-dee-da-do, dee-da-do, da-dee-da-do. Yoink. Wait, where are we going? Did I don't have to go here at all, huh? Where's the Still Glade Fane? Conjur's Guild, okay. I was really confused. Good. They mentioned this is going to be the last recording for this day, and also the session. Because it is. Elder Caesar, it fills my heart with joy to see you in better health. I am gladdened by your presence as well, my friend. Lest you wonder, know that the conjurers found no trace of the poison in my humors. If you are ready, I would resume our search for Glepnir. They may be up to the task, but you are not. 'Tis one thing to engage in conversation, quite another to go gallivanting about the Twelveswood hunting a blasphemy. I'm aware you are a conjurer of surpassing skill, and would not presume to gainsay your judgment. But have my wounds not healed? The visible to the naked eye, perhaps. I wonder that the strain on your communion with the Great One has taken a toll on you in ways we may struggle to perceive. The Great One is a being of purest ether, and you were exposed to its unbridled despair, its raw terror. There may be consequences. I'm aware of that, but Glepnir must be stopped. Until the blasphemy is laid low, people will continue to die. I am sorry. How am I to carry out my duties cloistered here? How am I to deliver the forest and its people from this despair? 'Tis your duties that demand you remain. I understand your frustration, but if you were to fall in battle, if your guiding light you bear were to fade, then all Gridania would be lost. Rest, Connie. Rest and gather your strength so that when the time comes, you are fit to do what must be done. In the meantime, trust in your allies. You are right. That said, I see no reason I cannot join you in planning our next step. As you said before, conversation is quite unlike gallivanting about on a hunt. Our encounter with Gridania has made it plain that we cannot hope to triumph over it as we are. Only with the Great One's power can we achieve victory. When the 7th Umbral Calamity was nigh, the Great One committed a portion of its boundless strength to extend a barrier over heaven and earth, the Ermine Hedge. Thus was the 12s would spare the worst. If we could convince it to again lend us even a small measure of that power, we would not need fear the poison. Therefore, I believe we should pour our efforts into placating the elementals, that we might earn their favor. We must make their voice heard then, yes? We must show that we are not the enemy. The quieting worked before, it may again. We must make your voice heard then. Let's go with that one. Indeed, we must find a way to assure the Great One of our good intentions, to remind it that we labor not for its destruction but its salvation. I'm assuming that last option is something that can only be unlocked if I had done the White Mage stuff. I think. I think too that we must gain a greater understanding of what drives Gridania. It seems to bear resentment towards the elementals, the Great One in particular. Why? I have pondered this question myself. Lingering memories of the person Gridania once was may be responsible. Reports from Razadhan suggest this is likely the case. In fact, if we could but ascertain the original identity of the blasphemy, but where are we even to begin our investigation? Hello, me? It's your old boyfriend? You were granted a vision of Gridania's past? And I was there? Then I may know who he is, or was. As do I, the boy who trained alongside Kani in her youth. Ah, Sura Supin. After all these years, is this what became for him? You mentioned him briefly before. Were you close? Ah, Sura. Sura was a Pajali, like me. But even had he never known his parents... But he had never known his parents and devoted himself wholly to his studies. He embraced the role the forest had bestowed upon him, and the truth be told, was a much better student than I ever was. A fair assessment. Despite your esteemed heritage, you never took to my lessons as well as he, ever dreaming of the outside world. Stealing off into the woods more times than I can count. I could not keep watch over you at all hours, not even if I tried. The Elder Seer, a rebellious spirit? I can scarce imagine it. I resented being a Pajali. It was inconceivable to me that I could not live among the others, and I did not scruple to express my misgivings to Isumiyan at every opportunity. Iyasura was a pillar of constant support. It was thanks to his encouragement that I, at last, embraced my destiny and resolved to use my gifts for the greater good. We would become seed-seers together, I believed, until one fateful day, when we were gathering herbs in the forest at Isumiyan's behest. We met a wanderer hailing from a distant land who told us his beloved was with child, and that he had traveled to Gridania to beseech the Great One for a painless birth. He asked us to guide him to the guardian tree. Who's this? However, entry into such a sacred place was not ours to permit, and there was something odd about his demeanor besides. With regret, I refused him, but Iyasura was loath to turn away a goodly stranger in need. He agreed to guide the man, despite the protestations. I ran to Isumiyan as fast as I could, and together we made haste to the guardian tree. We found the man motionless on the ground, having succumbed to the Great One's rage, and next to him was Iyasura, alive but unconscious. In time, he recovered. In time, he recovered and related the whole story in truth. The man had been an adventurer, a seeker of wealth and glory, and as he had knelt to make false supplications, he lunged forward to tear a branch from the guardian tree. He was yet a child, and Iyasura had no inkling of the darkness that could dwell within men's hearts. He learned the lesson that day, but the price he paid for it was great indeed. The Great One stripped Iyasura of his horns, oh damn, and with them the right to call himself a Pajal. And I was forced to expel him from the fane. So, the horns can just be taken away like that, huh? I never saw him again, nor heard a word of what had become of him, though not for lack of trying. Despite his hardships, did he remain in the Tweleswood all this time, I wonder? He dreamed of naught else but becoming a seed seer, of a life in service to the people and the forest. He knew the weight of the responsibility and was eager to bear it. But he was deprived of that purpose by the very elementals he loved. And yet, he did not lose that will to serve, I suspect, and instead resolved to watch over the Tweleswood in his own way. I shudder to think what could have hastened his transformation to Glypnir, as if his life was not harsh enough. In our final conversation, Iyasura confided in me that he would search for a means to calm the Great One's rage and earn absolution. To that end, he said that he would seek counsel of the Mughals. Oh no. They have called the Tweleswood home for far longer than we have, and so none are more like to have knowledge of its most hidden workings. That comes as no surprise. He would not give up so easily on his dream. Even if the Mughals know not of Iyasura, they may be able to help us in other ways. Will you travel to the Bramble Patch in my stead, Firemac? I have faith they will accept you with their characteristic aplomb. Oh boy. Moogle time. Alright, so the Bramble Patch we go. To meet with the Mughals. Oh, why do I expect the King Moogle Mog is gonna come up? Also, I just realized I got a new follower, so if they see me again, thank you for following. Sorry I didn't notice. It was like 2 hours ago I got that follower. Pukwa Pika. Huh. Quite a peculiar face you have, Kupo. Familiar, too. You wouldn't be the selfsame warrior who gave the legendary Moggul's Guard. What for, would you? Firemac, was it? Aha, it's an honor to meet you. Allow me to thank you personally for bringing that silliness to an end. Pukwapika's the name. What brings you to our neck of the Tweleswood? Why, what a pleasant coincidence. We were just discussing how we ought to go about calming the elementals, Kupo. The blasphemy with the dreadful horns has got them on edge, and for good reason. I've had to ask my personal guard here to sleep with one eye open. In case you haven't noticed, the beast's corruption has been spreading all throughout the woods. Needless to say, we've all got to stand up and put the Tweleswood to rights. Raya O suggested that the Mughals contribute by scouring the forest for even the smallest signs of taint. We got to cleanse it before it gets out of hand, you know? Difficult and time-consuming work, but if it's in service to the forest, then we'll do it gladly, Kupo. Hey, I know you. You're the adventurer who gave me some of my finest scars. Koop-de-koop of the Muggles Guard. No hard feelings about the whole hail to the king, Kupo. bit, I hope. Not going to call for a rematch either, in case you're worried about that. Ryo and the others cured us of our tempering, and afterwards sat us down for a stern lecture. No more calling upon good King Moggle Mog the 12th for us. May he ever remain unsummoned in his royal grace and splendor. Indeed, what better way to make up for past indiscretions than to serve the realm? Even now, our kin scour every elm of the Twelveswood, and we would be remiss not to do our part. We would be overjoyed to have a hero such as you helping us as well, if you're willing. Something tells me you have a sharp eye for the taint we seek to cleanse. Can we count on you, Kupo? I guess. Your reputation for magnanimity is well deserved. Let's begin by moving to higher ground, that we may survey the area and locate any particularly nasty spots of blight. Oof. A lot of dialogue in this quest. Oh wow, they actually put it in the air. I needed flying for this. Oh, you were able to make your way up here after all? I was worried you'd be stuck. Apologies for leaving you behind, but it's so easy to forget that your kind lacks wings, Kupo. Now then, where is it? There, to the south. Let us cleanse that festering taint at once. The taint. Yeah. Some holy magic. And whoop-a! You're done, kid. Pukwa pika. Pukwa pika. Pukwa pika. What? Pukwa pika, yo. That was some fine work, Kupo. I dare say it's even in better shape than it was before. The others are doubtless flittering about, stamping out corruption wheresoever it rears its hideous head. If I were the Graydon, I would be applauding our efforts. Well, insofar as such a being without hands can clap, I suppose. How goes the taint cleansing? Coop-de-coop? I did what I could, but I swear as soon as I finished the one area, two more start manifesting a fresh taint. The forest's ability to heal itself is waning, and the sickness is spreading too fast for even a legion of Moogles to manage if we don't come up with a better solution soon. The situation is more grave than we imagined, Kupo. Oh, what do we do? We should maintain our efforts to purify the forest regardless, but since there are so many of us, we may also help the forest to remember how to help itself. A brilliant idea, I think. How do we go about doing that? Well, I was just getting to that part, Kupo. I got it! We performed the friending. The friending? What in the name of good King Moggle the 12th, may he shower us with love and compassion and Koopa nuts, is that? Truth be told, I couldn't remember the ancient rite's name, so I just made something up on the spot, Kupo. But let's forget about that for now and move on to the stuff I do remember. It's an old ceremony first performed when the nation of Gridania was but a spark of an idea on a random thought in its founders' heads. They knew that if they were to establish a home within the Twelveswood, that they would first have to entreat the elementals for permission. So Mage and their company found and cleansed a few sources of foul ether, planting saplings in their place, and consecrated the soil with a prayer to show the forest the purity of their intentions. The elementals were so taken with his display that not only did they permit his people to settle within the forest, they also bestowed upon him their blessing as proof for their covenant. Kupo? I remember now. The Gridanians still honor the agreement to this day, where every tree is cut down, a sapling is planted. So if we follow the history's example, we can soothe the forest's pain and also nourish it with new life. That's right, Kupo. Oh, but I wasn't finished with the story. Remember the mage who planted those sacred saplings? He was none other than Joran, sire of Oak Pota, the very first Padjal. From that day forward, the elementals would bless a select few hearers with horns, varying them with their fellowships. Okay, so you know what? This is actually answering a lot of my questions about the Padjal. So they do have to be hearers. And they only become Padjal, so Padjal's not really a race. They just get the horns. It's really confusing. The Padjal were exalted by all the peoples of the Twelveswood. Even we Muggles look upon them with awe, and that's how it all began. Something wrong, Kupo? You have a strange look on your face. Gleptir may be a Padjal, a former Padjal at least. How dreadful, Kupo? But what exactly are you saying? So the man you think may have become Gleptir was a Padjal stripped of his blessing, and the blasphemy kills with a poison that manifests symptoms that resemble those of the creeping death. I feel sorry for this Yasura. To love the elementals only to be shunned by them, to be surrounded by the beauty of the Twelveswood and know that he was forever an outsider, all for a child's mistake. That despair could easily have caused him to turn, and this poison that preys upon those who bear the Twelveswood's blessing, the hearers, just like the creeping death once did, might be another manifestation of that despair. That would explain the elemental's unease, Kupo. We must redouble our efforts to plant saplings, or they might never speak to us again. Indeed. Well, first things first, we must gather as many saplings as we can. Firemac, wait for us in the adder's nest, and make ready for a long and back-breaking day. Sorry, I know you guys heard that Discord noise. You know, I have this on mute. Or apparently it didn't. The heck? Whatever. Sorry! So all that conversation. Awesome. I'm definitely gonna level up from this quest. Which means we get to do the level 89 role quest immediately. Yeah! Welcome back, Firemac. Did the Muggles have any insight to our problems? A reenactment of the ceremony which laid the foundation of Gridania. A fitting plan, given the gravity of the threat of our nation now faces. As ever, there is much work to be done before we can even begin. While the Muggles gather saplings, we shall continue to scour the Twelveswood for a new beast that must be purged. Let us pray that Elder Seer regains her strength quickly as well. For now, take a rest, my friend. 'Tis a rare indulgence these days, and one you've earned 1,000 times over. Aw yeah, level up like I said I would. Heart's true. The keeper of the entwined serpents is on the lookout for palms in the distance. Gleptir has not been seen since our last encounter. This brief respite may be our best chance to quell this great one's terror. Make way for the saplings, Kupo! We've had plenty of practice cultivating our gardens, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. That was the hardest work, so you can help us with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruptions, cleanse the taint and plant a sapling in its place, Kupo. Do it enough times and the Great One is sure to understand that we're doing all we can to heal the forest. which ought to brighten its mood. We'll see to the East Shroud. You should have no trouble taking care of the rest, Kupo. Your efforts are much appreciated. We'll begin without further delay. I trust you will not object to my company. I dare say healing the force is one task for which I am more qualified than most. Elder Seaseer, are you well enough to leave the city? I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, Izumi has finally grown tired of my objections and ceased his attempts to detain me further. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. 'Twould be an honor to offer words of thanks to the force for its bounty. Please do, Kupo! A prayer for the Elder Caesar herself will surely hasten their growth from tiny sapling to towering tree. Such is my hope. As Jurin did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that it might see through the veil of fear that blinds it and remember our covenant. Let us begin by cleansing all traces of corruption in the central shroud. To Green Tier, I sense the flow of ether has become warped there. Impressive, Kupo! Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance. It is but one of many talents I owe to the elementals. Well then, shall we be on our way? Ba-dee-da-do, dee-da-do-do-da-dee-da-do. Alright, time to investigate. All the way there. I think I can just teleport. Don't worry, contemplate it. Man, we might not even get to the magical DPS world quest at this rate. I'm just looking at the time. I don't have that much time left. Woo! Yeah. Confitio, baby. In gratitude for your boundless blessings do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last the earth is cleansed. There is a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of the sapling. Bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm. Of course, Elder Caesar, I shall relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know that they can aid in the restoration of the Twelveswood. Thank you. And now we must go. What's happening? That was a weird pan there. To Silent Arbor. There is something foul impedes the flow of ether. Let us hurry. Oh yeah, boy! Where? What? What? There it is. Oh god. Well, that was fun. Earth, wind, and water, like the three elements that the white mages care about. The injury has begun to heal. Our next destination lies to the north. Near Hurst Mill, I believe. 'Tis faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I'm certain it is there. Come. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. To Hurst Mill. I don't want to go to Hurst Mill. Man. There's bad memories in that place. If you know, you know, you know? You know. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have the symbol for the... Oh. Weird. Now they're there. I didn't feel like I was on a different map. Whatevs? Whatevs, yo? Tis fortunate that the corruption here is faint. A simpler prayer should suffice to cleanse this soil, after which we may paint the sapling. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow, which leads me to believe that the Mughals have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12-wood sighs with a contentment I have not felt in a long time. It will serve to placate the Great One, I cannot say. But will it serve to placate the Great One, I cannot say. Not until we visit the Guardian Tree. Excuse me, but you're the Elder Seer, aren't you? What brings you all the way to our village? Corruption had upset the balance of ether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and saplings. Thus has the 12-wood proclaimed a measure of peace. You've been planting trees? We have. The elementals have suffered much of late, and with these offerings we endeavor to raise their spirits. Elder Caesar, I've got to protest. What of your people's spirits? We who dread every step must take out... We must take out a... What? What of your people's spirits? We who dread every step, we must take out our doors? I don't understand that sentence. That terrible monster is still out there preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason. And if it doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job. I know you are afraid that you and yours will suffer so still. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that we may call the 12-wood home, and they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for the blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedies for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Clipnir and the suffocating despair it spreads. And so I pray you continue to put your faith in our guardians and in me. Would that we could, Elder Seedseer, but we've been dealing with death and sickness since before Gleipnir's coming. They say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. We gave her the cure, had plenty on hand, and for a while we thought it would be alright. But by the time we realized it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjurer. It was a sad day for us when she passed, but for none more so than her poor husband, Supin. He was beside himself with grief, and who could blame him? And then came Gleipnir to compound our woes. Wait, Supin? Supin? It cannot be. Do you speak of Iasura Supin? Iasura? No. No, Supin was an odd one. And no one mistaked him. But no one mistaked him for a Pajal. Supin wasn't even his real name. That'd be Elengia. But his wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason. And it caught on with the rest of us. I see. What did Elengia look like? Elengia look like? Well, I said he'd seen no more than 30 summers, kept to himself, came and went with nary a word at times. Though after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture, friendly even. His wife was a sickly lass, but she had spirit. But spirit's not enough to beat the creeping death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her. He had finally made a new life for himself here. Thank you for recounting Elengia's story. Sad though it was helped me better understand how much you have all suffered. I promise that you will have cause to celebrate soon. Until then, I implore you again to place your faith in the elementals and in me. Together we shall overcome this crisis. What? What? Despite what he said, I am certain this Elengia was Iasura Supin. To think that he was living so close by for all those years, searching for new purpose and finding true love, only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Pajal, empowered by the elementals, could he have saved her? He would have dwelt on that question night after sleepless night. I know I would have. Mayhap in the end he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness, for her death, and despair was consumed. In his despair. Aye, the animosity would linger, endure, and in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose. We have done well. We have done all we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope that he will be accepted as friends. That we will be accepted as friends. Oh, they're gone. And Evershade. Kuplo clap, kuplo clap, kuplo clap, 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 kuplo clap, clap, kuplo clap, clap, kuplo 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 clap. Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. May it be enough to receive an audience. I don't know. I just don't know. Do you guys know? I mean, some of you probably know, but I don't know. Suma yan, itatika suka suka yan, suka yan tan. O Great One, may I abide ever beneath your bugs, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Be still the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant. What's happening? All feeling. Passion, corruption, refreshed, renewed green, flesh restored. Child of child, covenant honored, friend, friendship, peace. It worked! The Great One speaks through the Elder Seetsier. We were right to follow Endurance example. Corruption is but one aspect of a greater threat. We beseech your help to slay Glypnir. Profanity spawn, despair's orphan, sadness and anger, sadness, death's prayer, one and all, poison potent, wounds unmending, withering bark, no strength to share. After all we have done, you deny us? After all the Elder Seetsier has endured? She has pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the Twelveswood! The people cried out for salvation, and she answered! The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered! Only you can help us now. If you do not, then we are lost. She is lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. Oh damn, the peeps. All the peeps of everywhere came. What are you doing here? We've been depending on the Seeseaters for all our lives, blaming them whenever something goes wrong, without ever considering what we might do ourselves. Aye, but no longer. The Elder Seeseer has gone to incredible lengths for her people, and so her people have come to return the favor. If her plea alone is not convincing enough, then we will raise our voices in support. We couldn't let them make the journey without protection, and we wouldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to stand with the Elder Seeseer and beseech the Great One for aid. We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest, so please, share what you can, however little. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake her. Kan-E, Covenant's child, walks with men, with Elemental, keeper of ancient faith, unbroken. Cannot, will not, break faith. To men, render up flesh. Then you agree to help us? Flesh, branches, take and join. To oldest elders, renew bond, as one stir. Raise up to heaven's covenant symbol, our staff, all join, all bloom, all peace. My duty weighed heavy on my heart, so heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried that I would be found wanting. But your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. Aye, nay, Gridania is forever in your debt. Wow, this, did not expect these role quests to go on this long. May I rely on you all once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the Twelveswood and join them in the eldest trees, that we might finally win free of this despair. It shall be done, Elder Cecir. We swear it. Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, I shall carry out the Great One's final instruction and cast its cleansing power all across the Twelveswood. Yet I must remind you, my friends, that Glypnir still stalks the forest. It will not remain idle. It will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger. Don't worry, that's what the next quest is for. We'll take care of Glypnir, don't you worry. Yay, 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 yay. Oh, thank God it brought me back here. I admit for a moment, though, it wouldn't work with the Elder Cecir moved not only to the hearts of the people, but to that of the forest itself. Her final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One made it sound. And there's the interruption. I'm just gonna let the interruption happen, guys, because I'm ending the episode anyway. So she must scour the ancient texts before the time comes and consult with the Cecir Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well. We still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the Twelveswood. Then, of course, there is the matter of Glypnir. He will not go peacefully, as we will work to hasten his demise. When he comes, we must be ready. Alright, so yeah, everybody, thank you. I didn't think those two quests were going to take a whole episode's worth, but there you go. Next time, we will be doing Magical DPS and Healer role quests for as far as I can. Hopefully by then I might be able to start the other role quests, but we shall see. But until then, this is Firemac saying, Toodles! See you next time.